South African Survivor Specialist Alexa and Robert are back, and Robert's hair has gotten slightly longer. It feels like it's grown like 2 inches.
Maintaining it. I'm trying to keep it back so it's not crazy. We're working on it.
Yeah, we were saying that we want to get a screenshot of our premiere recap and then a screenshot of our finale recap and see like how far the man bun has come to that point.
Yeah, so that'll be a 17-week difference. I think it'll be a good before and after.
It'll be great, assuming you don't cut your hair, which you're more than welcome to do. You won't get fired from the series, or you might.
Okay, good.
But we are recapping the 4th episode and the first of either one or multiple swaps of South African Survivor Season 6, and we just coming off of Winners at War, we are finally seeing what Adam Klein saw. We got our first hint. Just a clue of a tribal council idol. And Polisa is the one who found it again. This woman is on fire.
She's going nuts with all these idol clues. It's not even like she's not even like trying to find them. She's like, oh, I guess I found another one. It's an accident.
And she's so casual about it too. She's like, I opened this box and there was an egg and a clue. And so I took the clue.
It's crazy how she got the clue and then they went straight into the challenge. So she probably had the idol clue like in her waistband like the entire time, like crawling through the mud.
Yeah, and that was like I mean, I know it's a piece of paper, but it's still like pretty sizable, and they're all just wearing like spandex, for lack of a better term. So good on her for hiding that through the reward challenge. But we've got a swap, and like you guessed, we went from 2 tribes to 3 tribes, and there was a little bit of back and forth on like who's going to what camp, and someone gets a new camp, and apparently that's a good thing, but I feel like that's not a good thing. So we'll get into it. But coming off of last week's vote out, Martinez is pissed at Werner, and it's kind of unclear why. I think he just genuinely doesn't know how to play Survivor.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw is like Werner was trying to say
Werner too.
Was trying to say like, oh, Martinez, like I was trying to say that you were a bad player so that when you're actually a good player, it'll be fine. And Martinez was like, no, I don't like that. I want to be a good player. And it's like, you can still be a good player. Like you can still make good moves.
I assume being the decoy vote totally sucks. Like I'm sure that's not a position.
So nerve-wracking, right?
Yeah. But I think he was just like totally not grasping what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was like just post-tribal emotions too. Like you were the decoy vote, and you're like, man, I still like was scared that I was going to get voted out, and your just emotions are all riled up. So I could see it.
It doesn't end up mattering because they go to the reward challenge, and there is no chit chat. Nico is just like, all right, drop your buffs. We're making some moves. And you're going to get an egg, and you're going to slap it specifically over your left shoulder. So the way that these tribes fell out, the blue tribe, the Mindanao tribe, Martinez, Tevin, PK, Katinka, who is playing, and Annalise, who is here.
She is here.
We'll talk about her in a sec. Luzon, which is Tony, Jean, Ace, Josie, and Werner, and the yellow tribe, which I wrote down. I'm forgetting the name.
Visayas or something.
Visayas, yeah. It sounded kind of cool.
In my head, I remembered Kasaya, but like that's not what it is. So I think it's Visayas.
But it's close. The Kasaya tribe is Mariska, Tom, Shanae, Palesa, and Vusi. So everyone's like pretty divided 2 and 3-esque. It feels like. And again, we already talked about this, but Palesa finds her clue for a tribal council idol, and her clue specifically says this is at tribal council, because in a little bit we see another like really cool attempt at a clue, and it's total misdirect, which I think is great.
Yeah, so cool. I think that one thing about the tribal council idol that I think is really cool is you can just like there's no time period on when you can get it, so you just wait until you think you're going to get voted out, and you're like, all right, now's the time. Right. It's perfect. And it's going to be a big moment when it eventually happens. So, and I
wonder, Adam Klein is sobbing by himself right now. Yeah. That she is probably going to have this totally dope moment. But,
good idea, Adam. It was a good idea.
Yeah, it was a good idea. It was worth a shot. But what was I going to say? So we'll go to this reward challenge, and one thing that I've kind of consistently felt is that these challenges have really not excited me in any way, and this one is par for the course on that. I think this was like you climb through the mud, you get the key, you shake a pole to get
the shaking was so weird. Like everything else,
because it was different.
I liked that they had to like untie the knots, but they were like covered in mud, so you like can't get a grip on the rope. Like that was pretty cool, but the shaking was like, what are they doing?
Yeah, it was like whoever shakes it the hardest. And the immunity challenge, like someone can totally get hurt there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then you throw the sandbags onto a platform. So still the kind of obstacle course portion or version of a challenge, but they're covered in mud, so that obviously makes it great. And the winning tribe, if I'm getting this right, the winning tribe gets to pick whatever beach they go to, whether it be the new beach, Mindanao, or Luzon. Or I think the winning tribe gets a new beach and the second place gets to pick whichever beach. And then
whatever
the winning tribe also gets every reward
which is just so good.
Insane. That's so insane.
And it's like, here's this new shelter too. Like, what?
Yeah,
that's everything you'd ever want.
Yeah, huge. And I assume they didn't talk about this a ton, but I assume that if you go to the new camp, your shelter is probably already semi-built because that was supposed to be a good thing that you get to go to the new beach. But it sounds like you get a fire too, which is nice. So Luzon wins.
So I have a question real quick. Did they choose did the winners choose the beach and then the people made the shelter like between the challenge ending, or was it just like the good beach has the thing and you can go there if you want? Like,
I think it was the good beach has the thing because it sounds like no matter what, the winner was going to that new beach.
Allegedly. Okay, gotcha.
So the Luzon tribe moves there. Mindanao gets second, and then Kasaya, Visayas. I'm already forgetting this.
Yeah,
they get less. So now let's break down each of these tribes a little bit. So first we go to, where are we? So let's go to Luzon. Ace stays on Luzon and he doesn't take his foot off the gas pedal until he goes home in 45 minutes.
Yeah. Incredible. I was expecting, like, in my mind, like when I first saw the tribe swap, I thought that Ace and Shanae were in the majority and Jean and Tony were in the minority. And I was like, all right, this could be really cool because like Ace is in the majority, but like he's already flipped a bunch. And then I was like, oh, he's in the minority. Like he is in big trouble.
Yeah, he's in trouble. And John actually makes a really good point when we kind of go back to them the next go around. But like Jean doesn't know that she was supposed to go home the previous night. She doesn't know that they were going to get rid of her, and then Stacey Lee offered herself as tribute instead. So that group of three, that who is it? John, Tony, and Werner, like Tony and Werner can just kind of act as if they were going to work with her anyway. They could have been in a lot worse position if she was pissed off. She would go over and work with Ace and Josie. So I thought that was like a really cool way how it worked out. But Ace immediately starts to idle hunt like the second he gets Luzon because he knows he's in trouble. Obviously we'll see where that ends up. Mindanao for some reason has no food. One of us just froze.
Oh, we're back.
Okay, I don't know if I froze or you froze, but someone froze.
We both did. I don't know.
So let's go over to this new yellow tribe because that's also a tribe divided. Tom has had a really interesting path so far because I think he had a great premiere where he was saved and now he's kind of becoming a villain.
Yeah, I think in this episode he was kind of like the unintentional villain. Like he wasn't like, you know, intentionally been trying to be like, oh yeah, like Mariska, like we're gonna vote you out next, but it was like, haha, like this is just the situation, but that situation just happens to be bad for Mariska.
Right, totally. And I mean, it's one of those things where like he comes to her immediately, and I think he's just kind of overplaying a little bit. In the preview for next episode, we see him having a problem with Palessa, but I think if he's just one of those players where like if you're not in his alliance, you aren't just like if you're not with me, you're against me kind of thing.
Right. But I don't think it's not like in like a Boston Rob kind of way where he realizes what he's doing. He is just like in his mind. It's like, oh, this person's not working with me. I gotta like, you know, they know that they're also not working with me, so I can just burn that bridge or whatever. And it's just like not like a conscious strategic thing. So
yeah, I think you're right. And he also, which I legitimately forgot about until he said this in a confessional, he has an idol. So
he does. Yeah. I also forgot about that.
I forgot. I'm glad that he was like, by the way, I have an idol in case you audience.
I was like, okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah,
yes.
cool. I takes notes rapidly. Yeah. So especially if Palisa is able to get this tribal idol, it's going to be 2 idols on a beach of 5 people.
Insane. And that's a lot of idols.
It's going to be really tight. I think Mariska is going to end up being fine because it seems like this Palisa and Vusi versus Tom and Shanae, like they were already so separated when they were on Luzon that hopefully Mariska is able to figure that out and just end up being the swing vote. But I'm not sure. I mean, right now she's definitely looking like she's in trouble.
I mean, when Tom tells you you're in trouble and you're the one person against a 4, you would tend to think that you're in trouble. So
yeah, especially if someone tells you directly to your face. It's like, oh well, that means I'm definitely.
So, but right I mean, it does look like for the preview for next episode that Marisha is going to be fine. So.
Right. And
unless they like magically like the drama doesn't matter and it's just we'll put Mariska out. So
yeah, which I haven't paid enough attention to whether or not that's been a thing on the season. I hope she sees around more and I hope she gets more screen time because I was like kind of like thinking that I was gonna like her and she's someone who we haven't heard from much really at all.
But like when we have, it's been like, oh, this is really interesting. So
yeah, totally. Yeah. Speaking of people that we haven't heard from at all, let's go over to the Mindanao tribe and talk to Katinka, who we were both like, oh my God, we have an influencer on the season, and she is unavailable.
Not influencing the game.
I am not influenced.
Her own, not really influenced by. I mean, she did at that confessional. She's like, I haven't really been talking with this person or this person or this person. So maybe I should try something out. And I'm like, that'd be a good idea.
Like that'd be
you can do it.
You're a week and a half in. Like you really, really should get on that. And I think it's PK or it's Tevin. It's one of them who's just like, we don't even know what to do with her. Like she wasn't a part of our like original larger group. I don't even know who she voted for last week. Like she was just, it just feels like she hasn't been playing and we haven't even talked to her.
Right.
I'm sorry. There's like such a situation going on outside my window. I hope none of you can hear
I cannot hear it. So.
Oh, great. Okay. It's like every time I'm talking, they're sitting on the horn. So I want to go back to the Luzon tribe for a little bit because I believe it's Josie. I kind of missed like how this scene was set, but she stumbles upon a piece of wood that has markings that are presumably an idol.
Oh, on the thing.
Is it on their shelter?
It's so there's like the shelter and then there's like the fire pit and then there's like another like platform with like chains on it and it's like a swing platform thing and on like the top of the bar there was like a little symbol and Ace actually saw it first. So Ace saw it and then Josie saw it and then they're like, all right, we got to see if we can find this idol because we see like a symbol of our camp and then an X somewhere. And so like, it has to be a clue, right?
Yeah. Well, and they're right about that. I remember like it was on a beam. I was like, it's not on what they created. Like, where did this thing come from? So, and do you remember what they thought it meant? Because I'm pretty sure it also means a tribal council idol. I don't know if you think the same.
I mean, I initially thought what they were thinking, where it's the water and then the fire pit and then the shelter, and you like you use the map and you find where X marks the spot and then you dig there. That's what I would have thought.
Okay, so you think like the square is the shelter and the
big shelter. Yeah, the circle is the fire pit. So you go in between where Ace was digging for the episode.
Oh yes, digging to preserve heat. Which is confusing.
Preserve heat, which was just a good excuse that I guess people were buying. So
yeah, we'll get to that in a second. And it's so easy for me to be like, oh my God, it's a person's head and it's an X and then it's the podium. Like, how do they not realize that? But of course they don't realize that because that is just like not a concept that exists yet. So I'm assuming there are maybe 3 tribal council idols. And is it always going to be the same idol? Is it going to be one? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's 3 clues all leading to the same idol. I think that would be really cool. I mean, we just had this same idea about the balance idol last episode.
We wanted this with the balance idol, and it still turned out to be totally awesome,
which was sick. But I think it makes more sense that it could be at tribal. Like if there was one idol to be competed over, it would be a tribal council idol.
I think so.
Because everyone goes there, right?
And I think it would be cool if this could wait until the merge, because if 3 people can figure this out, then then they're all gonna like fight for it. I don't actually know what happens and hope that no one spoils it, but I assume that this does come to fruition, just to whatever extent. I'm not sure.
Right. Or I mean, if it happens before the merge, right? Imagine like going to tribal council and thinking like, I'm in danger, but the idol's there so I can get it. And then you go there and the idol is just gone. And it's like, oh no, someone else got it before me.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be a good moment.
Yeah. And I didn't even think to look when Luzon was at tribal council tonight, when Luzon was at tribal council, what it even looked like. I didn't even think to look, because it wasn't like the yellow tribe that went to tribal.
Right. Makes sense. I didn't think about it either. So
yeah. What do you think about the fact that one clue, whether or not there's multiple idols or one idol, one clue is a direct written instruction of what's up, and then the other is cryptic paintings on a piece of wood that you maybe won't find?
I think it's fine.
You think it's fine?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't mind.
I guess I'm trying
to I'm trying to put myself in the headspace that I would be in if this was like a live season 41 episode. I think people would be not pleased that Palesa has found 2 of these kind of randomly. And for what it's worth, like, I don't think that's a fair criticism, because the first one she actually just found, and the second one, it sounds like it was actually pretty random. But I feel like this is something that like would annoy me, but for some reason right now it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I think the variety is cool. I mean, I guess we don't have the exact text that Palesa does about where the idol is. I mean, we know she knows that it's at tribal council. We know it's at tribal council. Does she know exactly where it is? Does she have to like search around for a bit at tribal council? Because if she has the exact location, then yeah, unfair. But like, if I do like the concept of people having like different paths to the idol,
yeah,
or like different pieces of information, and like they don't have all of it, but someone else has something different, right? So
yeah, I think I do like that if it's different paths. I don't think hers directly said podium, but I would like someone to confirm that, because I completely missed that.
Yeah, can someone enhance the note that she got and like read it all aloud to us or something?
Yeah, that's always good when someone on Reddit does that. Yeah, do a dramatic reading of it for us.
Yeah,
I'm curious if the Mindanao tribe is going to get something different, if they're also going to get a piece of paper, or if all 3 tribes maybe have the carving. There's a lot of combinations. So I'm curious to see where that nets out. That being said, this is not in the sand. But we'll let Ace.
I mean, maybe it's got to dig deeper, as Jeff says.
Yeah, he should have. His line was like wide but not deep.
Yeah, well, I don't want to. Are we talking about this idol yet? Because I really want to. I mean, we could wait.
You talk about. Sorry, talk about
the sand idol. Are we talking about the sand idol yet?
Let's get to this immunity challenge real quick.
Okay, let's do that.
Because you and I kind of differ on opinions on what's been going on at these challenges. So for this immunity challenge, pretty much the long and the short of it is you have to knock down the structure and then you have to build it back up.
Right.
However,
I
liked it. This is one of the taller, if not like tallest structures I've seen them make before. I know in Australian Survivor, they did something fairly similar. And I also think people almost got like a ton of different concussions, because these things, if they're not balanced correctly, will just like nail you in the head.
And there's so much wind. So you can't even put it up. You just have to wait for the wind to be gone or whatever. So,
and I think they're heavy. Like they seemed very, very heavy. So there was just a lot of like, first of all, I think Nico was freaking out. Like he screamed really loudly when I forget who got hit. Someone got hit.
Everyone,
literally like 6 people got hit, and they're slow-moing the blocks falling, and then they're slow-moing the people falling. I thought it was cheesy and ridiculous, but Robert, you really liked it.
I thought the slow-mo during the challenges was really cool. I thought the slow-mo at any other point is just like, who cares? But like the slow-mo during the challenge, it's like, oh, this is really dramatic. Like, I don't know they're like trying so hard. And then like there was like a break in the slow-mo, and you just see who was it, Mindanao, who were done first. I think, and they were just like sitting on the mat, and I'm like, all right, this is probably taking like half an hour. So I'm glad that like I thought it was fun. Like, yeah, it was kind of cheesy, but it's growing on me. I like it. It's fun.
Yeah, I forgot that. Like, I mean, Survivor is kind of cheesy, so I had like those are good. Like, if I want Jeff to be riding in on a jet ski and go by the Statue of Liberty, I should also be pleased that there is really over dramatic slow mo when someone's getting hit by a wooden block.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they put slow mo in for 41. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be really cool.
Oh yeah, it's probably going to be like incredibly jarring, and people are going to complain about it on Twitter, but it'll be sick.
That's the one change that needs to happen to Survivor right now.
Anything, adding slow mo. That'll definitely fix all the
problems. So Mindanao wins, and then Luzon ends up losing. So whatever combination of Luzon, they are 1 for 4 in immunity challenges. So they are lining up very nicely with the American Survivor / original Luzon tribe. Totally sucks to be them.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Ace's performance in the second half of the episode.
Well, oh man, so they get back to tribe. They get back, not to tribal. What? They get back from the immunity challenge to camp, and Ace and Josie know that they're in trouble, which is totally understandable. You're in the minority. You haven't put in any effort to make inroads with like the majority alliance, but you know where an idol is. So now we get this. I actually love this scene so much of everyone being asleep and Josie like half being asleep and like guiding Ace of where to dig, and him just like slowly digging in the sand and like looking where people are. And it was so good. It was so stressful, but like in a really good way. So I love it.
That they started off with like the half-assed, for lack of a better term. Like Josie's going to sit there and he's also just like literally playing in the sand. And then he, after 10 minutes, he's like, this is stupid. And just starts like full on doing it. And then John, Werner, and Tony come over and they're like making dinner. And he's still just like clawing away at the sand.
Yeah, but like only like a little bit. And then at some point he's like, it's getting dark. I don't even care anymore. And then it's just this making this huge line. And like, I think that the heat thing was like kind of dumb, but it got people off the track of an idol. So like that means it's good. That means it's good. Like, I don't care how stupid it sounds, but if people are like, what's he doing? As long as they don't think he's looking for an idol, it's a success.
I'm really shocked that they didn't think he was looking for an idol, because he's like, I feel like anytime you dig for anything, that is you have nefarious intentions. Nobody just digs. And also, I mean, you probably know more science things than I do. Like, what was he trying to do with heat? Was he moving?
I don't think the heat works.
I don't think that's a thing. I don't even know what it's suggested, but I don't agree with it.
No, but then that means that you're the person that he would be trying to fool, Alexa, if you don't know anything about heat.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd probably
you'd be like, I guess maybe. So
like, sure, yeah, he seems smart. He's definitely not digging for an idol. He also, I guess, like, what I mean, for me, like, he wasn't even digging that deep. And like idols, you usually see, you gotta really go into it and you got to find the exact perfect spot. He's digging like 3 inches deep, but over the course of like 4 feet wide.
Yeah, it's like he's making a moat for his like 9-inch tall sandcastle or something, like, and making it to scale. It's like you gotta go deeper, man. It's probably, I still think it's there. We didn't see any like previews about where it could be or anything. So I believe in them. I think they're totally wrong. I think it's a tribal council and they're totally just kidding themselves. But either way, I like that we don't actually know. I think that's funnier. That is really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not just like insert area of woods like normally.
All these new locations are just so interesting that it's not like, oh, it's in the tree or like this other tree or the third tree. So
it's really cool. And there's also, I mean, this was the case for Australian Survivor too, but like, I like earning clues. And I know, like, I was just kind of complaining about how Palisa just like randomly got the clue. So this is more for Australian Survivor. Like, I liked that Annalise like earned her clue. I liked that, who is it? Like, Henry and Luke, like when they were at that spa trip, like they found it. I like putting clues in rewards. I just think that's a little more fun.
Right. And like there is always like the tension of like people at a reward challenge and it's like, is there an idol? Like yes or no? And if there is, like who knows about it? Like that drama always helps out a lot. And then there's like the people that didn't go on the reward versus the people that did go on the reward. Like, oh, you guys found an idol? Like, why did you tell them who are not your allies or us who are your allies who didn't go on the reward? So
yeah,
I overall love idols at reward challenges. So
Yeah, they're great. Yeah. One other funny thing is like this was such a good hard editing cut. Like Ace is like, yes, I'm digging this hole to China. And then John, they immediately cut to her and she does a really, really long bleep. And I think she was just like, the F is he doing this for?
So funny. So funny. I love that. I love John. John's so
I'm glad she stayed. I think like she's gotten a little too big for her britches, but I also think she's like very funny and delivers her lines very well.
Yeah, she's the straight woman of the tribe. She's just like I can't believe these people. Like, what are they doing? This is ridiculous.
So. Yeah, she's hilarious.
Yeah.
So they dig around and then they kind of hard cut to Ace talking to Werner, and he's like, "I've got the idol, but I'm not going to show you until 20 minutes before tribal." And he was like, "Okay,
whatever."
Like whatever.
Why do I do with that information?
Yeah, and I think maybe he thought like because like Palesa doing that to him worked out, like maybe it would be the same thing. But to your point, like we didn't see Ace or Josie trying to make any inroads with the three in the majority, so I don't think there was ever even a chance of.
Yeah, I mean, we see Tony calling him out for it in tribal. She's like, "You guys didn't try," and then Ace was like, "You guys didn't come to us," and Tony's like, "Yeah, because we're not the ones that are worried about going home.
We didn't need to." Yeah. I think Ace just like, and I guess this can be our little like eulogy for him. Like, I mean, the difference between Ace and Josie is I think Josie just has like kind of a cleaner head on her shoulders. Like Ace was like kind of just putting himself in trouble. I think he's played like very much a wild card game. And I really don't think he had like much strategy other than like what was going on day to day. So Josie is going to be less erratic and a little easier to deal with.
And I think that it helped out that there was no one else on Ace's like if Ace was in the majority, then the majority would be willing to turn on him because they know that he's erratic and will do crazy things that are against the rest of the tribe's interests. But when it's just him and Josie, it's like Josie's not going to turn on him, like because then she's just down 3-1. Like, I mean, that's what happened anyways. But I think what happened is just Ace couldn't control himself, and he had a really good opportunity to not be as erratic and reel it back in and make some new allies, but he just wasn't able to.
Yeah. And again, he was like a really entertaining, I guess,
so fun.
Fun. Lasted way longer than he had any business lasting, and he did only make it 4 episodes. But he was fun. I think like it's good to have those kind of erratic players. They definitely make it more exciting. I am a little surprised that Josie didn't. I guess this is one of those things that doesn't really matter, but Josie didn't also vote for Ace to like tell that group that she was in with them. But I think at that point it's too late that she's not.
Yeah. I mean, there's also the argument of like, if you want to work with those people now, she could say like, yeah, I voted with Ace until he got voted out. I will vote with you until I get voted out. Right. I'm not going to like try to like flip or gain favor. And that's a good way to show trust to the now 3 people that on the tribe that are against you. And if you like make it to the merge with them, then they'll know that you're trustworthy because you were trustworthy with Ace until he got voted out. So
yeah, that's a good point. Okay, that works. So she's looking like she is in some huge trouble.
Still, yes, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, that being said, she's screwed.
Yeah.
So I mean that's really all we have for the episode. What do you think? Because I was actually just thinking about this like halfway through us recording right now. Upsettingly, I feel like if we were watching American Survivor, we would already know who's won by now. I feel like what we're seeing, and I've never watched an episode or a season of South African Survivor before, but I'm not seeing a winner's edit, which I do really like. I think we're getting more FaceTime of certain people, but I do feel like we're getting a pretty diverse edit. I know some people who are not going to win, but generally it feels even. What have you been thinking about that?
I agree. And maybe there is a winner's edit that like Survivor South Africa has that we're just not used to at all because we've watched, countless hours of American Survivor.
Yeah.
But I do like not knowing what's going on. And like, yeah, you can like, Tom probably isn't going to win now. Katinka probably not. But like, I don't know, you could probably make an argument for anyone else. There's still people like Vusi we still haven't really heard from. And like, he could just magically come out at the like after post merge and be like a really big player or something. There's just the world's our oyster in terms of Survivor winners.
It is, yeah. I think like with players like Martinez and John, we're getting like a lot of waves with them. Tevin is someone who like I thought was going to be this big obnoxious.
Where did Tevin's hat come from?
I don't know, but it's a great hat.
Randomly had a hat. It was sick.
It's a great hat. He's got a good like aesthetic going on. Whoever did his wardrobe, I'm very pleased.
Good job. Yeah.
He's someone who I really thought I wouldn't like because the like kind of loud, obnoxious, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna screw everyone just for the sake of it is not my thing. I actually think he's playing a pretty good game, and he's letting other people be obnoxious.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's talking about stuff in confessionals that we aren't really liking, but I think that overall he's able to think in a way that like, and other people aren't really able to like catch him out on the places where he does mess up. So it is cool to see his like strategic gameplay overall.
I think so too. I think like presently edit wise, I think like Werner is probably looking the best, and maybe Palisa because she like had the clue and then didn't get it, and now she's got another chance. Like I think we're getting something fun with her.
Right, definitely. Even if it is just the idols, like still really fun.
Yeah, I mean, if this is her only storyline, it's been a good storyline, so I'm fine.
It's been a good storyline. Yeah,
it's been fun.
Definitely.
What else do you have on this episode? If anything.
What else? The reward challenge, actually, the thing where they like threw the whatever's onto the thing that whatever. I'm literally not speaking English.
Yeah, the sandbags onto the platform that's hanging.
The hanging platform part where it was swinging around, I don't know how you do that. That literally seems impossible.
And you had to do 15 sandbags. Like
you only had to do 3.
Oh yeah, you only had to do 3, but you had 15.
But like still, I don't even know how you hit 1.
I don't either. Like the sandbags looked a little like flat on the bottom, so maybe they would like sit that way. But yeah, I thought that was really tough. I'm glad I wasn't doing the challenge because you have to like place it instead of just like chuck it at something.
Right, and then you miss once, and then it's wiggling all over the place.
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense. I don't know how you did that.
Yeah, that's tough. So okay, there's a little like variety to the reward challenges.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, something. So Ace has gone. I think it's probably for the better. I think if this, if Ace makes it to the merge, it's just like a complete mess. And I think Josie is someone who like is probably a pretty good player, and this will maybe be her opportunity.
We're reeling it back in a little bit and having a little more manageable amounts of chaos.
Exactly. And maybe like this is Werner and Tony's opportunity to get rid of Jean. They could use they could use Josie to do that. So I don't think she's like completely screwed, but she's definitely in a tough position.
Definitely in a tough position. Not as good as a position as Tony's in. That's all I'm going to say. Got to defend my winner pick
right now. Yeah, Tony's looking great. I think she was a good winner pick. So happy with that for you.
I really need one. I need one to work.
Have you never gotten one right?
I
say only having gotten one right, and it was the most obvious winner pick of all time.
Who was yours?
Wendell.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, easy. He was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So that was 4th episode after the swap. Again, not sure if there will be another swap or if they'll go straight to the merge. I don't even know when they merge in South African Survivor. There's a lot that we're still learning.
They could merge in like 2 episodes for all I care.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that would be 13, so that would make sense. But
actually, wow, that's gonna be fast.
Who knows? We'll see. It's a mystery.
But yeah, there's only like 17 episodes of this season, so it's quick. Or there's only 16.
So 16? Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if
final 3 then. I don't know if there's a final 3 or a final 2.
Yeah, we're going in super blind. It feels. I didn't want to do any research. I actually last week I was looking up the voting pattern for who how they got rid of Stacey Lee last week because it was so weird, and I literally had to like black out my entire computer just to look at the chart because everything.
I almost Googled what the 3rd tribe's name was, the Kasaya tribe, and I'm like, I can't do this live. I'm gonna get spoiled. So I did.
Yeah. So we're gonna need you guys to fill in the blanks for us because the internet will betray us.
Yeah. If you guys are okay with being betrayed, then do it. If not, you can just go along with the ride with us.
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, I think Worth Playing For and John Millsap both have watched this season already. So
yes,
you guys
help us out.
You guys tell us what to do. That being said, next week, I am going on a brief vacation that will include Monday night. So
and Tuesday night, so we can't reschedule it. That's the big
what?
Thing.
Oh,
and Tuesday night.
Yes. Because as much as this podcast belongs on Mondays, we keep trying to put it on Tuesdays. I will be gone next week, so we are going to skip a week, Robert and I. So
we have a bye week.
We have a bye week. Yes, sports.
Yeah.
We are moving to the following week where we'll recap the 5th episode. I'm going to talk to Phil about what I'll be doing next week for Classic Survivor, but we'll not something I need to discuss now.
So that's what day is that? That's the 22nd.
Monday.
Is my math correct?
According to your math, it's Monday the 22nd, assuming we do it on Monday. John Miller is watching live with us. Welcome.
Oh, perfect.
Love to see that. Love to hear that. So we'll be back then. You will definitely hear from us on the internet beforehand. We'll pick a time as it gets closer. Follow us on all social media. Subscribe and become a patron on Patreon. We have $1, $5, $10, and $20 tiers right now. Phil and I, anything helps. Join our Facebook group. Robert sometimes posts some good content in there. You're welcome to do that. I think everyone likes when you like pop in and
I gotta artificially increase supply or decrease supply so that when I do post, because if I post every day it loses its touch. So I gotta
you need to like disappear for a month and then be like, hey, and then disappear again.
Yeah, that's the plan.
All part of the game. So Phil and I will be back tomorrow recapping. This was so awkward to say this directly in front of Andrew Savage. We're continuing our classic Survivor episodes series tomorrow. And Phil and I will be talking about Girls Gone Wilder, which is when Jenna and Heidi did what they did to get peanut butter and chocolate in Survivor Amazon. We're going to talk about the effect that has had on Survivor as a franchise. So tune in for that. It's going to be really something.
Yeah, what a crazy episode to talk about.
Yes, it certainly will be. Robert, anything else before I hit the end broadcast?
Nothing that I have. I hope everyone has